The best guys I worked with in Special Forces were not always the strongest or the loudest. They were the ones who stayed useful when everyone else was smoked, who could think clearly under pressure, and who made the team better just by how they operated. And after going through selection and serving on a team, I started to notice the same traits showing up again and again in those guys. So that's what I want to walk through in this video. 5 traits I saw in solid Green Berets that you can start building now, whether you're training for Special Forces selection or just want to operate at a higher level in your own life. I'm John Hamilton, former Green Beret and strength and conditioning coach, and my team and I spent all day, every day helping guys train for special operations selections and build healthy, long careers once they get there. Over time, patterns become pretty clear. I have seen guys show up in great shape and still struggle because they were missing some of these key traits. And I've also seen guys who are not the most physically gifted bring a ton of value because they had them. So as you listen, treat these as skills that you can train, not fixed personality traits. And the first one is communication. Green Berets are force multipliers. The job is to train, advise, and work with other people. So partner forces, local leaders, your own team, and you cannot multiply anything if you cannot communicate clearly. I'm not talking about being the loudest guy in the room or trying to sound intense all the time. I'm talking about being able to give and receive information in a calm, clear way when you're tired, under stress, and the situation actually matters. On a team, miscommunication can ruin an entire operation or get somebody hurt. At selection, it shows up during team events, problem solving, and even how you talk to the cadre and your peers. One simple tool I like to use for this is LTPR. Listen, think, pause, respond. Most guys skip straight to the respond. They are only waiting for their turn to talk. Instead, listen to what is actually being said, think for a second about what is needed, pause so you're not reacting out of emotion, then respond with something short and clear. You can start practicing this today with your family, at work, with your buddies, or in the gym. The guys who do this well are easier to follow and easier to trust. The second trait is curiosity. Special Forces missions are never clean and simple. There's always something changing. The terrain, the culture, the politics, the logistics. If you are checked out and just going through the motions, you miss a lot. The guys who stand out are the ones who are always paying attention. They notice the little things, how the terrain ties into the map, the potential danger areas and angles, how people in the region respond, where something is likely to fail. At selection, curious guys learn faster. When they get a land nav class during gate week, they're genuinely trying to understand the information, not trying to prove how much they already know coming in. When they get a new task in team week, they are looking for better ways to carry the load, organize equipment, distribute rest times, and save energy for the group. And you can train this by refusing to stay on autopilot. When you see something you do not understand, break it down instead of zoning out. When you drive or ruck somewhere new, actually look at the terrain and note landmarks. Curiosity is just choosing to stay engaged and present instead of drifting and daydreaming. The third trait is being a real team player. On an ODA, it is rare to see one guy working while everyone else stands around. If one guy is packing, planning, cleaning weapons, or fixing something, other guys naturally drift over and start helping or taking care of their own tasks. There is almost an unwritten rule that you do not just stand around and watch someone else work. And honestly, when I got out of the Army, this was one of the first things that I noticed and I realized I took for granted. In a lot of civilian environments, you will see one person doing the job while others are on their phones or just hovering around. On a team, that attitude does not last long. At selection, it shows up fast during team week. Everyone is tired and hurting, and nothing is perfectly organized. The guy who just stands there waiting for instructions stands out in a bad way. But the guy who quietly looks for a task, grabs a handle, moves gear, checks on a teammate, or solves a small problem stands out in a good way. So if there's work to be done, whether that's at home, at your job, or in the gym, move first. Do not be the guy that just waits to be asked. If something is out of place, fix it. If someone else is carrying the load, grab part of it. Get comfortable being the person who helps instead of the person who watches. That habit will follow you straight into selection and onto a team. And the fourth trait is being a fast learner. You do not need to be brilliant, but you do need to be able to absorb information quickly and apply it. Selection, the Q course, advanced schools, mission briefs, and deployments all involve a lot of information in a very short amount of time. You are not given weeks to slowly warm up to a new skill. You get a brief, maybe a short demo, and then you are expected to perform. At selection, that might mean watching a video of the Nasty Nick obstacle course during gate week a few times then being tested on how well you pay attention to detail and navigate the obstacles. On a team, it might mean picking up new gear, a new tactic, or a new procedure and then teaching it to others. The common thread is that solid guys shorten the gap between learning something and using it. To build this, stop treating learning as something that ends when you close the book or finish the video. Even with this video, if you don't change anything or work on the things we've covered, it was just entertainment. Take simple notes with key points, then put it into practice. Aim to shorten the gap between the time that you learn something to the time you implement it. And the fifth trait is resilience. And I want to keep this one honest. I was not perfect during my prep. I wasted time on video games. I spent too much time hunting. I slept in at times. I missed sessions and had weeks that did not go my way. I am not perfect. And a lot of you watching are in the same place. You have good stretches and bad stretches. What mattered and what I see over and over in the guys who make it is that they do not let those bad stretches define them. They do not wait for a perfect season of life where everything is perfect and lined up before they commit. Resilience in this context is the ability to reset and move forward when things are not ideal. You can feel doubt and still show up. You can have a bad week and still adjust and keep going. At land navigation especially, you will get lost at some point. Resilience is not pretending that you are fine and everything is okay. It's taking a breath, checking your map, checking your terrain, and problem solving your way out of it instead of mentally quitting and wandering around the woods. You can practice this right now in your own training. When you miss a workout, do you decide that the week is ruined or do you show up the next day? When you bomb a run, do you spend days sulking or do you adjust and get back to work? Resilience is built in those small decisions you make on a daily basis long before you ever set foot in selection. Now, you do not need to be born special to build any of these. You can start right now with how you train, how you talk to people, and how you handle setbacks in your daily life. If you're serious about going special forces or want to train like someone who is, and you want a plan that builds strength, endurance, and durability while keeping you healthy long-term, that is exactly what we do all day long. Check the link in the description, fill out the quick application, and we'll see if our program is a good fit for where you are and what you are training for. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.